Let's sing a song full of hope, full of pain. Why don't you sing along, my friend? For it's our last refrain. Forever young, ever strong, ever brave. Memories like this never end. No, they don't fade away. So when I'm gone, oh, when I'm gone, I'll be right there, close to the sun. Keep holding on, keep holding on. And I'll be right there, close to the sun, close to the sun. Close to the sun. Here's to the ones who let shine through the rain, the ones who stood for something more. We won't forget your names. The tide is high, say goodbye, we set it sail, and all those midnight secrets told, we'll take them to the grave. So when I'm gone, oh, when I'm gone, I'll be right there, close to the sun. Keep holding on, keep holding on. And I'll be right there, close to the sun, close to the sun. Close to the sun. So when I'm gone, oh, when I'm gone, I'll be right there, close to the sun. Keep holding on, keep holding on. And I'll be right there, close to the sun, close to the sun.
Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to Fantasy Premier League with FPL Wizard. I hope you're all fine, I hope you're all safe, I hope you're all having fun, and I hope all your fantasy teams are set. If not, worry not. I'm here, I'm gonna talk to you about fantasy football, I'm gonna talk to you about your teams. Worry not, my friends, worry not. So I hope you're all fine, I welcome you all to the live stream. Let's get started, my friends. So as you can see from my team, I haven't made any transfers as of now. My team is still the same. I still got Timo Werner, I still got Ben Davies. I told you on my stream that I'm possibly gonna kind of make my transfers, but you know I hate making early transfers, so I'm still on the same team, innit? Welcome man, welcome Jackson, welcome Jonathan, Naik, and hope not forgetting, hey, welcome Sean, welcome Shalendra. Nice to have you all here. Thank you so much for joining. Hey Saleh, welcome my friend. So my friends, give me your dilemmas, give me your questions. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do the live stream tomorrow, the deadline stream that is becoming so much a part of my life, and it would be hard not to do it, but you know, work was calling and I had to go. But I'll make sure I don't miss too many deadline streams this season, guys. It's just going to be a one-off. So give me your questions, give me your dilemmas, guys. I'm gonna be right here talking to you about them. Jackson says, when are you using your wildcard? To be honest, Jackson, I'm pretty happy with my team and I don't feel any need to use my wildcard as of now. I mean, you look at my team, if I use my wildcard, basically, when do I use my wildcard? Like, I'll make a wildcard team, right? And I'll see which players I want, and then I'll see which players I have, right? And if the team that I make, that I want, kind of resembles my own team, and there are not major differences, right? If I'm only going to be changing my bench players, or I'm going to be changing kind of my fringe players, and maybe one or two premiums, then I don't think it's worth using a wildcard. I know I'm not getting too many points, right? 157 points at this point in time is maybe not the best of starts to the season, but there wouldn't be much different if I even used my wildcard. I still think I'd go with kind of the same team, right? So Sushant says, whom to captain, Ings, Jimenez, Salah or Mane? To be honest with you, Sushant, that is a pretty difficult one. I mean, Ings has a good fixture, and Ings is a differential as well. I mean, if you captain Ings and he banks kind of, I'm expecting him to score at least one goal, and if he scores more than that, that could be a differential, right? I wouldn't captain Jimenez, although he has a fixture against Fulham. I'm not exactly sure how they're gonna come out of that fixture against the defeat against West Ham, so I'm possibly not gonna captain Jimenez, but I think on the outside is a good option as well. Salah or Mane, obviously, I mean, you have to have one of them, right? So whoever you have out of them, if you have Salah or Mane, you can definitely go and captain them. No problems with that. I mean, they're always good captaincy options. Salah more so because he's on penalties, but away from home, Mane tends to do better than Salah. So yeah. Slender says, I'm going in with the same squad as Game Week 3. That is a fantastic kind of way to approach Game Week 5, because like after Game Week 4 there's going to be an international break, and there's going to be matches. There's going to be players that are going to go all over the world, right? There could be injuries, there could be like some COVID things and stuff. So if you have 2 free transfers, that would be really, really helpful in it. I mean, I would do that as well. I could do that as well, but I really kind of because of the high ownership of Jimenez, I probably want to get him in. But otherwise, that's a good ploy, my friend. FPL Cricket says, what are your transfer plans? As I discussed in my video, my friend, I think the plan is kind of still the same. I'm thinking of transferring out Timo Werner for Jimenez. That's the basic plan that I have. So I'll just show you my transfer plans in a bit, right? So basically, if I make one transfer, it will be Timo Werner to Jimenez. Sean says captain Ings or Salah. Sean, I think they're both really, really good captain options in this game week. If you want to go with a safe pick, I'd go Salah. If you want to go differential, if you are kind of a risk-taking kind of a person, if you're in the mood to take a risk, I think this game week Ings could be a really good captain option. Fadzili says, Viz, hello, I'm thinking to wildcard, but I'm thinking of using it after the international break. Free hit now and wildcard next game week. To be honest with you, Fadzili, I wouldn't waste 2 chips so early in the season, right? There's gonna be blank game weeks, there's gonna be double game weeks, there's gonna be so many things happening in the season, right? I wouldn't kind of use your 2 most important chips right at the start of the season. I mean, using your wildcard is fine, right? But wasting your free hit, I think rather than wasting your free hit, even if you have to take a -8, that would be worth it in my opinion, my friend. Saleh says, what do you think about Werner? Most of them have removed. Yeah, I mean, I think if you have one Chelsea player, I think you can keep him for the upcoming 2 game weeks. The reason being, I'll give you my kind of thought process on that, guys. So it's gonna help you a little bit in order to decide what you're gonna do with your team. So if you have Timo Werner, right? For me, the problem is I have Kai Havertz and Timo Werner. That's the reason I'm kind of looking to move on Timo Werner. But if I had only Timo in my team, right? Only Timo Werner, I would possibly keep him for this game week. The reason being, he has a game against Crystal Palace, not the best fixture, but I mean, I think Chelsea can score against Palace, and then after game week 4, in game week 5, Pulisic is going to be back, Hakim Ziyech is going to be back, and the Chelsea team is going to be having more creativity. And I think after Pulisic and Ziyech is back, I don't think Tammy Abraham is going to be starting. I think Timo Werner is going to come back to the middle, and I think he's going to be more effective against Southampton. So, if I had only one Chelsea player in Timo Werner, I'd possibly keep him. Although that might sound like a really kind of, against what most of FPL managers are doing, but I would keep Werner, to be honest, and I'd save a free transfer, and I'd make 2 transfers next week. That would be an amazing kind of thing to do. But since I I have habits as well, so I possibly have to move on Timo Werner. Jackson says, can you make a wildcard draft for the upcoming weeks? Jackson, I actually made a wildcard draft in my recent video that I posted, so you can go and check out that draft, my friend. Hey George, welcome to the stream, my friend. Jidaria says, should I transfer out Podence? He's injured. To be honest with you, my friend, if you got Podence in last week, and like I know he didn't play. For me, it was lucky, to be honest, because Podence didn't play. Ailing came in and I got 7 points off from my bench. But if you got Podence last week, you know you wasted a transfer on Podence, and Wolves have 5 good fixtures, and there's an international break after game week 4. So even if Podence doesn't play in game week 4, I'd still keep him, because after the international break they still got 3 good fixtures, right? So put him on your bench. Don't transfer him out, my friend. N says, is Son going to be fit for Sunday? You know, I read a very interesting tweet by FPL Patridge on Twitter, and I would like to quote that. He says, I know that Mourinho is lying, but I just can't figure out whether he's lying about Son being injured, or is he lying about Son being fit. And that was so funny, because of course, I mean, you know, Mourinho is lying about something. Either he took him off in the last game, kind of to make up for all that pretense that Son is injured, and then he's gonna play him against United, or Son is really injured and Mourinho is just kind of playing mind games with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Either way, we can't say with Son, but I can tell you what I would do with Son. If I had Son in my team, what I would do with Son is, I would put him on my bench, you know, ready to come in for the easy games from game week 5. Take 1 week of a hit, put him on the bench, play your bench players. That's what your bench is for, right? You cannot change your team every game week, my friends. Just put him on the bench. If you have Son, play your bench player, take a slight hit, and then play Son against the weak teams, right? If you can even put him in your team. If he plays, fine. If he doesn't play, your bench player can come and, you know, don't kind of play this game of transferring him out, bringing him back in, and all this thing. I think he was in really good form, and I think he's gonna be back soon. So that's my opinion. Moving on, guys. So many questions, you know. Shopanen says, is Mahrez a good differential captain? I mean, I think he's a good differential option, but captain, I don't think I'd captain Mahrez against Leeds. I think Sterling is a good differential captain. The ownership of Sterling is around, what, 5%? I'm not sure how much ownership Sterling has, guys, but it's really not too much in it. 6%, guys. If you want to captain a differential, my friend, Raheem Sterling is your man. He scored a couple of goals in the midweek, and I think it's amazing to a chance to captain Sterling. 6% ownership of the player, of the capability of Sterling is crazy, isn't it? Musaid says, should I get rid of Podence or Pereira, or keep them both? I'd keep Pereira and Podence, my friend. I don't think that you need to get rid of them. Pereira, I think he's returning even against the difficult teams. I think it's a good option. Podence, I think he's going to be fit. Even if he's not fit in game week 4, I think he's going to be back in game week 5 for the good fixtures, you know. So keep both of them, my friend, if I was you. George says, I'm captaining Sterling this game week. That's fantastic, my friends. That's a very good option, to be honest with you. If I had Sterling, I'd think about captaining him as well. Sofronis says, what do you think De Bruyne captain this week? I think De Bruyne captain this week is massive. I'll tell you why. I wish I could show you that tweet, but I'll read it out to you guys. It was a very interesting tweet by FPL Zoo. It's a fantastic account. If you don't follow him, you should go and follow him. He's called FPL Zoo, ZHOU. You know, he tweeted this amazing stat. He says, whenever Manchester City loses at home, then in the next game, De Bruyne goes crazy. And then I'll tell you his kind of, you know, like he says last season, in game week 5, City lost to Norwich. The next game week against Watford, De Bruyne scored 17 points. In game week 8, they lost to Wolves at home. In the next game week, he scored 3 points. He says that's an outlier. In game week 12, they lost to Liverpool. Next game week, 7 points. They lost to Manchester United in game week 16. Next game week, 19 points. They lost to Wolves. Next game week, 14 points. They lost to Tottenham, 14 points. They lost to Manchester United, next game week 14 points. They lost to Chelsea, next game week 14 points. I mean, that's kind of scary, isn't it? He says whenever City lose at home, and the next game week De Bruyne goes crazy, and the stats kind of back that up. And, you know, if you're captain De Bruyne, I think that's going to be fantastic. Fantastic, right? So this tweet was by FPL Zoo. So if you don't follow him, guys, you should. I think it's a good account giving you this kind of information. FPL Cricket says, why don't you remove Havertz instead of Werner if you want one Chelsea player? To be honest with you, FPL Cricket, the reason being I want Jimenez really bad for this game week. And the reason why I want Jimenez that bad is because of his crazy ownership. If I don't get Jimenez, and I think he's a fantastic option against Fulham, 24%, right? And he's gonna become a sword for my team, and he's gonna affect my overall rank. And in any case, I want Jimenez in my team, so why not, right? And Timo Werner, I gave him 3 weeks. I gave him the match against West Brom. I think I've been patient enough. And I don't want to have 2 Chelsea players. Right now, when Hakim Ziyech comes back, when Pulisic comes back, they start performing well again, I might consider him again, right? For now, I think he has to go. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I haven't made the transfer yet, right? So I might have second thoughts after the stream or whatever. But for now, I think Timo Werner is the one who has to go. Because the reason is I want to get Jimenez. Jonathan says, do you think Saint Maxima would play against Burnley? To be honest, I think he might play against Burnley, yes. I think his manager said that he's close to coming back to full fitness, so I think, yeah, he might play, my friend. But gonna be a difficult game in any way, right? Rohan says, hey Viz, your thoughts on Werner to Ings, Bruno to Raz for a hit? Too short of Jimenez. To be honest with you, my friend, I think if you have Bruno Fernandes, I think he's a good option for the upcoming game weeks. I don't know if you want to sell him for Raheem Sterling. The reason being, Bruno is much more consistent than Raheem Sterling. Sterling will return in 1 game week, then he'll go blank for 2 game weeks, then you'll have the urge to get Bruno back if he bangs in 1 more game week. So it's always gonna be in your mind, right? So if you bought Bruno, I think you should stick with Bruno Fernandes. If you want, you can just do Werner to Ings or Werner to Jimenez. I don't think you need to take a hit this game week. I think even against Tottenham, I think it's fine to own Bruno. Even if he doesn't bang, I still think it's fine, right? City don't have the easiest run of fixtures anyway. So in my opinion, just make 1 transfer. Musaid says, should I swap Oba with KDB? To be honest with you, Musaid, that's a very, very difficult answer because Aubameyang has an easy fixture on paper, right? He plays against Sheffield United at home, right? But the KDB record that I told you just now, it's kind of crazy. So it's very hard to say. It's kind of a gut decision. But if I had Aubameyang in this, game week, and if I don't have any other, fires to put out, I would probably swap him for KDB. The reason being, Sheffield is a defensive team, right? They're gonna kind of play deep in a defensive deep block, park the bus, and Aubameyang hasn't looked too potent in the last few weeks. Even against Fulham, he did score 1 goal, but he didn't look too effective, right? I'm not sure Arsenal attack looks effective, to be honest. So in that case, I think KDB long term is a better option than Aubameyang, right? So that's my opinion. Hang on, guys, before I keep talking, let me have a drink of water, please. Hanoi says, who are you going to captain? To be honest with you, right now my captaincy is between Salah and Kevin De Bruyne, right? I'm not thinking about any other player. I'm not thinking about Jimenez. I'm not thinking about any other player. I'm thinking about Kevin De Bruyne or Salah. So that's gonna be one of the 2, my friends. Most probably it's going to be Salah because right now I'm on Salah, but yeah, I can easily switch it to KDB. By the way, guys, I'm not going to be doing a deadline stream tomorrow, right? But I'm going to be posting my final team 1 hour before the deadline. I'll post it on Twitter, I'll post it on YouTube so you guys can have a look. And and whenever I make my transfers, even before I post my final team, as soon as I make my transfers, I'll update you guys on Twitter and YouTube, so no worries there, right? Gitaria says Captain Ings or Jimenez. To be honest with you, my friend, if I had both of these players, I would go and Captain Ings. I just think that Ings can score a couple of goals against West Brom. It's very difficult, but if I had these 2 players, I'd do that, right? I'd Captain Ings out of these 2. Abhirup says, do you have some idea about game week 17-18 double game week blank everyone is talking about saving the first wildcard? Yes, Abhirup, that's true because Manchester United and Manchester City had a blank game week to start the season, right? So the games that they missed in game week 1, they have to compensate, and according to the schedule or schedule, however you call it, and they're going to be rescheduled in game week 16 and game week 17, I guess. And that's the reason many people are saving their wildcard around for around that period, right? It can help you kind of propel you up the ranks if you have your wildcard for a double game week. Yeah, so yeah, that's it. FPL Cricket says, will you post your team on Twitter before the deadline? Yes, FPL Cricket, I'm gonna do that, my friend. Sean says, do you think you're gonna change Jimenez for Werner this week? Yeah, to be honest with you, I think I'm gonna do it, my friend. I haven't kind of made up my mind 100% yet, but if I make a transfer, this is gonna be it, right? Because to be honest with you, I'm tempted to kind of make 2 transfers this week. So if I make one, this is my transfer, right? But if I make 2 transfers, my friends, it's the second one is gonna be this. I really want to get in Castan. I think he's a fantastic option in FPL. At 5.7 million, he's kind of, I think he's given you 3 attacking returns in 3 games, right? More than 3, right? He's given you attacking returns in every game. What's not to like about Timothy Castan? He's a fantastic player. I would, if I take a hit, I would get Castan. If I don't take a hit, I'd probably get Jimenez and bench Davies, right? Wilbur says, Mope and Robertson or Ings and Size. That's kind of difficult, a very difficult one to say, my friend. But I think Sias's position in the team is a little bit dubious, right? I think he's made a few errors, because of which I think the coach of Wolves might consider rotating him, because there was kind of news on Twitter. They say Dendonker might start in place of Sias, although I don't think that's gonna happen. But in my opinion, Mope and Robertson are also very good options. So yeah. Abhirup says best captain KDB, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Jimenez. Rohan says thanks Wiz and good luck. Thank you so much, my friend. Have fun and stay safe. Abhirup says yeah, the best captain between KDB, Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Jimenez. I think out of these 3, I think KDB number 1, Jimenez number 2, Dominic Calvert-Lewin number 3. Because I think everybody's thinking Dominic Calvert-Lewin has an easy game because the FDR of FPL shows FDR of 2 against Brighton. I think Brighton is going to be much more difficult than an FDR of 2, my friends. So yeah. 8fact says, I'm captaining Sterling. Any thoughts? I also have Ings and Jimenez up front. I had Jimenez last week as the captain, scored an own goal and ended up with 0 points. 8facts last week was kind of, it was the peak of the variance, right? It's not going to happen every week. I think Wolves against Fulham, Wolves win that game easy. And if Wolves win that game easy, that means Jimenez scores 9 points or 12 points, the minimum, right? I'm not telling you to captain him, but I think you have a fantastic team. If you have Ings, Jimenez and Sterling, that means your team looks really, really awesome. So if you're going for Sterling captain in the next game week against Leeds, I think that's a fantastic option. Reason being, Leeds are not going to sit back. They're going to attack. They're going to press the way they do every team. And Sterling's going to have lots of space to kind of run into. And I think Sterling is a fantastic option for the upcoming game week, at least as per the eye test and as per the stats. So yeah. Elazar says McCarthy. I'm gonna read the teams later. Elazar, I'm so sorry. Let me ask some questions first. FPL for Life says Mahrez or Sterling or De Bruyne. Mahrez, Sterling or De Bruyne. If you mean, do you mean you want to get them into your team or like for captaincy? If you want to get one of them in your team, get De Bruyne, my friend. Musaid says, is there a certain time by which I need to use my wildcard? Yes, you have to use the wildcard by game week 15, right? I think 15 is the last game week of the first half of the season. In this season, because the season started late, there's going to be less game weeks in the first half of the season and more game weeks in the second half of the season. So you have to use your wildcard by game week 15 if I'm not wrong. It is 16 or 15, I just have to be sure. But yeah, you have to use the wildcard, because after that, if that time is passed, then you get a new wildcard, right? So if you don't use your first wildcard, it gets wasted. Alright, so Saleh says thoughts on Brewster, and Naman says, are you going to play Leeds defense? I got Dallas but don't know to bench him or not because of his attacking returns. To be honest with you, Naman, if you have Dallas, you can play him, you can not play him. I don't think it's going to make too much of a difference. I don't think City is going to concede stupid penalties every game week like they did against Leicester, and then they panicked a little bit. Kyle Walker and Benjamin Mendy, they were like self-destructing like crazy. Those penalties, they were schoolboy errors, These are fouls that you concede on the halfway line, not in your box. That was crazy. I was kind of Pep Guardiola would be furious with them. But yeah, to be honest with you, you can play Dallas if you want. I mean, who knows what's going to happen in that game? I mean, it's very hard to predict that game, but all I can say is there's going to be lots of goals. So yeah. Fadzli says face reveal. To be honest with you, Fadzli, as I always say, my friend, I would love to do a face reveal, but the nature of my work, they don't give me permission to do a face reveal on the stream. So hopefully, when I can do FPL full time one day, guys, I'm gonna do a face reveal. I'd love to do it, to be honest with you. Pelt says, how about you analyze top 3 teams in your league on stream before next game week, like every Friday, or at least give them a shout out? Spells, that's a pretty good idea, my friend. I'd love to do that. Spells. Yeah, we can kind of make a stream, and we can have a look at the top 3 teams in my league. Yeah, why not? We can work that out, my friend. Thanks for the idea. Thanks for the suggestion. Thank you so much. By the way, guys, please do, if you're enjoying the stream, please hit like, and if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe to the channel. Moving on. Sushant says, I have doubled up on Liverpool attack, Salah and Mane. That's amazing. Rather than going with the City player and the Liverpool player, I'm expecting to keep them until my next wildcard, which I'll use after game week 8. To be honest with you, I think that's a good idea. I mean, Salah and Mane, the only problem is, Sushant, is that they're kind of, some in one game Mane is going to score, in one game Salah is going to score. So you've basically just taken the risk out of the Liverpool assets. But don't you think like 212 million players from the same team is too much in my opinion, right? So rather than taking Salah and Mane, it would have been a better option to go with Robertson, Trent Alexander-Arnold and Salah, but you already have them, so it's fine, you just keep them, right? So I think that's a good ploy. Yeah. The vendor says, can you suggest free hit team? The vendor, I'm not sure why you want to use your free hit, but before this, I think Fadzili also talked about that. I wouldn't suggest you to use a free hit in this game week unless your team is totally done. Even if you have to take a -8 hit, don't waste your free hit. You only get a free hit once a season. It's a very valuable chip. Save it for the blank or double game weeks. Do not kind of, waste your chip, in my opinion. Michael says, great show. Who would you bring in for Martial? Would you keep him? Have 0.8 in the bank. To be honest with you, I wouldn't keep Martial. I think he might score against Tottenham. I think Martial is good at home games as compared to the away games, but in my opinion, I haven't seen enough from Martial to kind of justify to keep him. So I think it's better to move him on. And if I move Martial on, I would the first priority that I would have is, I mean, if you have enough in the bank for Harry Kane, I would just tell you to get Harry Kane, right? I think Harry Kane's gonna be amazing this season, the way he's playing. But I think if you don't have enough money, as you said, then you can go with Jimenez, my friend. I think Jimenez is the next best option. I don't want to say Vardy, to be honest with you. I think I know Vardy is scoring like crazy hell amount of points, and you're gonna say this guy is not even scoring Vardy. But I still think that I'm not sure whether Vardy's kind of form is sustainable or not. Leicester's form, I mean, it was a freakish kind of hat-trick against Manchester City, and even the 2 goals against West Brom were kind of both penalties. So, and they're saying that they're going to kind of change the tweak. The referees are going to start being more lenient with the handball from the next game week. So I'm not sure how many penalties are going to be there. So that's my opinion. So in my opinion, Jimenez, right? Chopin says Mahrez played 90 in the midweek. What do you think? Will he start? Chopin, to be honest with you, I'd never try to second guess Pep Guardiola. Who knows what's going to happen with Pep's teams, right? But I think he could start. Even if he doesn't start, even if he comes from the bench, I still think he could be a decent option, right? Leeds are gonna concede anyway. I mean, the way they are playing, Manchester City gonna score goals against them. So I think Mahrez is a good option, regardless. Stan, I'm sorry, Stan was probably asking me questions, and I'm trying to answer all the questions. By the way, guys, I asked for suggestions on Twitter last week after my stream. I said, please give me your suggestions, and a lot of you kind of said that you don't answer our questions. We kind of keep asking you questions. To be honest with you guys, just kind of listen to other people's questions, because sometimes the questions are so similar, and I kind of become bored answering the same question again and again. I know you might join the stream later, right? But I think it's a good idea to kind of just go back and have a look at my answer, because I think, for example, today I think I've answered this Captain Jimenez or Ings kind of 3-4 times. So if if ask the same questions, it becomes kind of repetitive for me to answer as well. So sometimes that's the reason I don't answer, and other times I'm just kind of rambling about some answer and I miss your questions, and that's what happens most of the time. So I apologize for that if I kind of don't look at your questions, right? Right. Moving on, guys. Werner in my team right now is as effective as shampoo on Guardiola. That's a nice comment, Surfers. To be honest, Werner can come good. He scored his first goal for Chelsea against Spurs, and but he didn't look too good in my opinion. He can come good, but people are saying when Pulisic comes back and when Ziyech comes back, who knows what's gonna happen, right? And we have a good option to replace him in Jimenez, so why not? Excuse me, guys. Fadzili says, thinking of getting Jimenez and Semedo. It will be a -8 though, cause I got Castan. I mean, Fadzili, to be honest with you, if it helps you to save your free hit, I would do it. If not, get only Jimenez, and that would be still a good kind of if this game week gives you an average score, I think you should be satisfied that you got an average score and you saved your free hit, right? So that's about that, my friend. Abirup says, how many double game week and blank game weeks happen in a season on an average? Abirup, generally there are 2 double game weeks and kind of 1 blank game. 2 blank game weeks and 2 double game weeks. They're obviously the blank is compensated in the double game week, right? So generally there's 2 double game weeks and 2 blank game weeks, but this season it could be more, depending upon how the fixtures are kind of happen, and maybe if the matches get postponed due to COVID and stuff. So we don't know, but on an average there's 2 blank game weeks and 2 double game weeks. Shopnan says, are you planning to bring in Kane in the future? To be honest with you, Shopnan, I'm really interested in Harry Kane. I mean, the only thing is the structure of my team doesn't permit me to get Harry Kane, and I don't want to go with 2 kind of budget midfielders and put all my money in the forwards. So that's the reason I'm not going for Kane, but I think he's a very good option. He looks very sharp. Tottenham are looking good, right? And they've got Bale, and they've got Reguilon, they've got Son playing really good, and I think Tottenham are kind of a really good team especially against the small teams. They're gonna score lots of goals, and if I could, I would get Harry Kane. Yeah. Ishtiaq says, who has the highest expected goal ratio? Ishtiaq, I don't remember, but there are 2 different expected goals, right? Penalty expected goals and without penalties, so non-penalty expected goals. I think Che Adams was pretty high up there, Harvey Barnes, and should be pretty high up there, and I didn't actually have a look at the stats of expected goals before I came here, but I'll probably look at it and possibly tweet and let you know, right? Khaleesi says, any update on Richarlison? Khaleesi, I think Richarlison, after the game, his coach said, Ancelotti said that he had a twisted ankle and he should be fine. So he said Allen was a bit more serious, but he said Richarlison might be fine. So, I think he should be okay for this game week. I can't say with any certainty. I mean, I don't have any news, but that's what I feel. Onoy says, I'm thinking of going just into Castan because Pereira is coming back soon. Well, Onoy, to be honest with you, let's wait for Pereira to come back, right? I mean, don't kind of waste your transfer right now from Justin to Castan. I mean, if you don't have any of the fires to put out in your team, then you can do it if you want to, but Justin is giving you pretty good returns as well. He has 1 goal, 1 assist, so I mean, you can stick with Justin if you want to. Felix says, who are the best 2 options to replace Son? Felix, as I already said, if you kind of have a bench player, just bench Son and kind of play your bench player for this game week. I think next game week Son's going to be back, and it's going to be a good fixture, and I think Son can cover for the points you lose in game week 4. I think Son can come back and cover for that. But if you want to replace him, the couple of options that I would be looking at is, the first one would be Harvey Barnes. I think he looks really good, to be honest with you. Trossard looks pretty decent, but I wouldn't advocate kind of on the stream getting a Brighton player because we have other good teams performing well. But to be honest with you, Leandro Trossard looks really good value. Harvey Barnes looks really good. I mean, James Maddison could be an option too, but I think Harvey Barnes is a better option, and more explosive option. Devendra says, if you had to pick players from West Brom, Leeds, Brighton. Which three would you pick? Oh, that's a pretty difficult one. I mean, from West Brom, I would pick Pereira, right? Matthew Pereira. He looks amazing, right? He's a very, very good player, and he's scored a free kick. He's providing assists. I like the look of Matthew Pereira from West Brom. From Leeds, I mean, Leeds has a lot of options, right? But if I had to pick one of them right now, based on form and stuff, it would be, either Bamford or Klish, because Klish takes penalties for them, and Bamford is kind of scoring goals. I never rated Bamford, and I still don't. But he's kind of proving me wrong. So, from Brighton, contrary to popular opinion, I would probably go with of course, from Brighton, if I had to pick one player, it would be Lamptey. No questions asked. I mean, he's fantastic. He is gonna be amazing, a world beater right back. But of course, defenders aside, I would kind of pick Leandro Trossard. It might be a controversial kind of pick, but I think I like the look of Trossard a lot. Fadzali says, alright, thanks FPL Wiz. You're welcome, my friend. You're welcome. By the way, heard you said that every time City has lost their home match, they have banged in the next match and KDB got a lot of points. Where did you read that? Shopanen, that was a tweet by FPL Zoo. So I was reading from that tweet, and he had given a lot of stats. Like, he had analyzed the last season 10 matches, and 9 of those games he actually had scored good points. So that was kind of a good stat for me to kind of mention on this. His Twitter handle is @ZH0UFPL, so if you want to follow him. Alazar says Kane twings for a hit. No, I wouldn't do that, Alazar. I think Kane is a really good option, right? And in my opinion, Kane, the way Kane is playing, I think you can keep him for the entire season. So for this game week, if you want to do kind of a, you want to kind of take him out and then bring him back, but that would be wasting 2 transfers. And the way Manchester United defense is playing at the moment, I wouldn't say that they're kind of like looking good for a clean sheet. I don't think so. I mean, I think Spurs can score. I don't think it's going to be a very high scoring game anyway, right? That's not going to be like a 4-3, 5-2. It's kind of looking like a very cagey game, and because there's a lot of emotion involved. Mourinho kind of trolling Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and all these things going on in the press. So in my opinion, I'd keep Kane. That's the end of whatever I was saying. Wellen says, what to do with Son? If I bench him, Anguissa will come in my team and I don't have any Manchester City players. I mean, Wellen, that's the problem, right? I mean, I would tell you to bench Son, but Anguissa is not good enough as a bench player. I'm not even sure if he's gonna start, right? Last week I think he was benched, and I'm not sure if he's gonna start, and that's the reason I can't just advocate you to bench Son. But the problem is, the only player you can get by kind of selling Son from Manchester City is Mahrez or Foden. And do you really want to sell Son for Mahrez or Foden? I'm not kind of sure, so kind of a personal decision. If I had Son, I'd possibly keep him, but with Anguissa in your team, it's very hard for me to kind of say what to do. Alright, Stan, now I'll take your question. Sorry for the last time. Should I take a hit to transfer out Davies, as I have over 1 million in the bank? You're kind of in the same situation I would be if I kind of make this transfer, right? So if I transfer out Timo Werner for Jimenez, I would have 1.1 million in the bank, and I have Davies in my team as well, and I want to transfer him out for Castan. The only thing is, I don't want to take a hit for this game week. The reason being, let me show you guys my team. Let me go to pick my team. There you go. So, even if I bench Davis this game week, I have a pretty good option on the bench in Kyle Walker-Peters, and I can just simply I can go with this team and I can bench Davis. The only thing is, he's gonna fall in price, but I'm not too much concerned about that, right? To be honest with you, if you want, you can sell him. Who are you gonna get for Davis as well? Stan, that's also a question. Yeah, by the way, Shopanen has made a really good point, guys. I also wanted to talk to you about this on the stream. There has been a rumor that 6 Liverpool players have tested positive for COVID, and one of them is Mane. I don't know where that rumor is coming from, but it was a pretty strong one. But I tried to find an update on that rumor before coming to the stream, and I couldn't find the find any updates or find any sources and stuff, but I just wanted to tell you that there has been this rumor, right? So just keep that in mind, guys. Especially all of you who own Mane, be kind of vigilant, watch the news, and if there's something like that happening in Liverpool, switch Mane to Salah. Reason being, when Mane doesn't play, Salah becomes much more potent, right? So just watch out for the news. Don't make this transfer now. Just watch out for the news. If you kind of hear that Mane is injured, or Mane is kind of not injured, Mane is like affected by COVID, or he's not going to be able to play, just switch him for Salah. That would be my opinion. Hang on, guys. Water break, please. Alright. George says, can we consider double Wolves attack this week, Jimenez and Traore? I mean, George, you could. The problem with Traore, why I wouldn't get Traore in my team is I'm not sure he's going to start every week, right? I was much more sure about Podence, that Podence was going to start every week more than I was about Traore, right? So if I wanted to double up on Wolves, right, I would kind of get Jimenez and a defender like Nelson Semedo, or somebody like like Willy Bolly, Roman Saiz. I wouldn't get Vinagre, but the others, right? Not sure about Traore, to be honest with you. I think that like he's not nailed on in that Wolves team, although he looks to play most of the games. But I just kind of feel that he might miss a couple sometimes, and he's also injury prone as well with his shoulders and stuff. Spells says, going to sleep. Good luck tomorrow, and I hope next Friday you will dose my suggestion. But yeah, Spells, I'm going to try to include your suggestion. Maybe not next Friday, but I'm gonna try to include it in my pipeline, and I hope we can get to that. Right? We can include that segment in one of my streams. Why not? Thank you so much. Onoy says, last week Anguissa had a ban, and what do you think about Ryan Brewster? Yeah, to be honest with you, I think Ryan Brewster is an interesting one, right? 4.5 million striker, going to Sheffield United. Although on the face of it, it looks very interesting, very interesting, right? But guys, the thing is, this season there are really so many good striker options, not in the premium bracket, but in kind of the budget category. Not I'm not saying like it's just filth cheap, like 4.5 million, but like you've got Dominic Calvert-Lewin, you've got him. Jimenez and Ings and all these guys. They are not Richarlison. Would you really want to waste a striker spot for Brewster? Or we're not going to show, because Sheffield doesn't score lots of goals anyway, right? And they don't kind of create too many big chances either. So would you really want to waste your striker spot for somebody like Ryan Brewster? As long as you're playing a 4-4-2, it makes a lot of sense, to be honest with you. But this season there is so much value in the strikers, like Dominic Calvert-Lewin, 7 million, guys. I bought him for 7 million. He's already 7.5 million, and he's doing wonderful. Same with Richarlison, same with Danny Ings, same with kind of Jimenez gonna do well over the season. We already know, this Mitrovic, Bamford potentially. So Brewster is a good option if you're on a wild card. Maybe you want to get him, but if I was on a wild card, I would get 3 budget strikers. I wouldn't get Brewster on a wild card. That would be my opinion about Brewster. Also, I would like to see him play before I actually make a decision whether I want to get him in or not, right? I want to see him play, how he fits in the Sheffield team. We can't just assume that he was good in Liverpool, he's going to be good in kind of, in Sheffield. Sheffield is a very different team. They play with overlapping centre backs, and kind of, we're not sure how Brewster's going to do. So with me, if he's in your team already, like if you brought him in as your kind of like enabler, budget enabler, when you picked your team, keep him. He's a very good option for you. At least 4.5 million starting striker, why not? But if you kind of thinking about getting him now, I wouldn't do it. I would wait and watch and let him get a good score or a goal for Sheffield United, and then we can talk about him. That's my opinion, right? Abirup says, how's Souček as a bench replacement for Son? Abirup, I think he's a fantastic option. Game week 8, I think I'm gonna get one West Ham player after game week 8. Their fixtures turned so massively after game week 8. I have to kind of go and get one West Ham player, be it Antonio, be it Jared Bowen, or be it Souček. If you have him or you want to get him, I think Souček is a good option. You can play him in any game and he gives you the aerial threat of scoring a goal in any game against any opposition. And I think West Ham are looking good. I mean, they did very, very well against Arsenal. I even tweeted out, I said, was Arsenal bad or was West Ham really good in that game? Because West Ham made Arsenal look really ordinary, right? And I mean, I was wondering, I was sitting watching the game and I was like, dude, I mean, Arsenal don't look like they're going to score. All right, they got a jammy kind of goal right at the end. You know, it was not a jammy goal, but I mean, the entire kind of win thing of Arsenal was jammy in that game against West Ham, right? So, you know, I think West Ham is a good team. Souček is a good option. All right. Alizar says Bruno to Sterling. To be honest with you, Alizar, I wouldn't do it, man. I know what you're thinking about, and you know, for this game week, Leeds City gonna score a lot of goals. But over the season, do you think Sterling is gonna score too many more points than Bruno Fernandes? I wouldn't think so. I mean, I think Bruno Fernandes can match Sterling in terms of how many points he's gonna score over the season, and I think most game weeks against small opposition, Bruno Fernandes is an equally good captaincy option as compared to Sterling. So, you know, if I had him, I wouldn't do it, but it's up to you. George says, good idea, thanks. You're welcome, my friend. Alright, I don't see any more comments, so I hope I answered your questions, guys. So this is how my team is currently looking like, right? But this is not my final team. For anybody who's kind of concerned about why I still have Werner in my team, I haven't made my transfers, but the only thing, if I make one transfer, it's going to be Werner out for Jimenez. And if I make two transfers, it's going to be Werner for Jimenez and Davies for Castan. So that's going to be, basically, that's going to be my transfers, right? When I'm going to make them, I'm going to update you on Twitter. So, and Twitter and YouTube as well. So, yeah. So, fellas, any more questions, any more doubts, any more dilemmas, just let me know. Because I don't see any comments for the past since George made a comment. So if you have any dilemmas, let me know. Shalendra says your views on Delap. Dexter says who to captain. To be honest with you, Shalendra, I wouldn't waste my Manchester City spot on Delap. I wouldn't do it. I mean, I know he's a cheap Manchester City forward. I mean, there's going to be an international break, and after that, one of like Gabriel Jesus is going to come back. And Aguero's also gonna come back soon. Aguero's already training, right? I mean, I wouldn't get Delap. That's my opinion about that. Dexter says who to captain, KDB, Salah, or Aubameyang. I wouldn't captain Aubameyang, my friend. I mean, he could go crazy, and then you could kind of think that what was he talking about? But based on the eye test, on the first 3 game weeks, Arsenal don't look good attacking wise. You know, like. They scored 3 against Fulham and everybody went berserk about kind of getting Willian, and they said Willian is essential and all these things. But, you know, Arsenal should have scored. The team with the capability of attack, of Arsenal's capability, they should have scored like 6 goals against that Fulham team. Aubameyang barely had a chance in the entire game. And that the goal he scored was also pretty kind of Thierry Henry-esque kind of goal, and it wasn't the easiest goal that he scored, right? So I mean, I wouldn't captain Aubameyang. KDB, Salah, I mean, it's kind of a flip of a coin, right? I have both of them, and right now my captaincy is on Salah, but I don't think you would go wrong captaining either of them. I just feel Salah's this kind of, you know, I'm just going with my instinct for now, but I'm just saying that out of KDB and Salah, you wouldn't go wrong. How long are you planning to keep Podence? I'm planning to keep Podence for a long time, Surfrose. They have 5 good fixtures, 4 now, I guess, right? 4 good fixtures, and see how he performs. If he does well, he stays in my team, even against the tougher teams. Wolves tend to do well against big teams anyway, so, you know, I'll keep Podence. If he starts every game, if he is not rotated and he's not injured, I'll keep Podence, no matter who they play, right? I can bench him if it's a very difficult game anyway, so. Dexter says, so true, I'm planning to drop. Aubameyang plays on the wing. To be honest, yeah, I mean, 12 million for Aubameyang, not worth it, my friend. I'm an Arsenal fan, as you already know it, and I'm still telling you that 12 million for Aubameyang this season, not worth it, not at all. I mean, at this moment in time, I would tell you not to get an Arsenal player. There isn't any standard option. Maybe Kieran Tierney, but they're gonna concede goals as well. So you can't just rely on attacking returns from a defender. So in my opinion, for now, no Arsenal players is the way to go. Excuse me, guys. Dexter says, I've captained KDB. I've captained Salah in 3 game weeks, and I'm gearing a KDB masterclass. Go for it, my friend. If you feel KDB is the right option, go for it. All I can say is Salah, KDB. There's nothing to choose between them. I still think that KDB is gonna bang against Leeds, and I'm happy I have him. So I might make him my captain as well, but for now I have it on Salah. So transfer Doherty for Dean with a hit. I wouldn't do it. Utrikshit, I wouldn't do it, my friend. Spurs have really good fixtures against after the United game. I think they've got really good fixtures. I would wait on Doherty. Yeah, if you want to get somebody else like Castan for Doherty, I would say if you want to, you can do it. But Dean, I mean, they play Liverpool in game week 5, right? And they don't have as easy fixtures as it seems on paper. I mean, Brighton is not an easy fixture. I mean, why do everybody think that Brighton is an easy game? Brighton, guys, they almost beat United. I mean, they should have beat United. They got a jammy kind of stupid penalty after the final whistle or before the final whistle, whatever the hell that was. But come on, guys. I mean, they hit the crossbar 5 times against United. They gave United a crazy beating in all the stats except the goals, right? So no, in my opinion, no. Dexter says, yeah, they're playing Manchester City, Manchester United soon. They play defensive, about 2 defensive. I'm an Arsenal fan also. Fine, yeah, Dexter, you're right, my friend. That's exactly why I said. George says, what about Lacazette? To be honest, guys, I mean, Lacazette has 3 goals in the first 3 game weeks, and nobody's talking about him. And I think it's right that nobody's talking about him, because those goals were not kind of, like all the goals that Lacazette scored were kind of like deflections, lucky goals, and all this stuff. Maybe one was good, but the other 2 against Fulham, it was kind of just like in the box. Willian should have scored, and then keeper touched it, and Lacazette just touched it in. And against Liverpool, it was absolutely jammy. Like Robertson back passed it, or kind of just. It hit Robertson and came to Lacazette, and then he scuffed his shot into the ground and it bounced it over Alisson. I was overjoyed, and I was like, I even tweeted, what a magnificent finish that is by Lacazette. And then I said, I'm joking, right? So yeah, in my opinion, I don't think Lacazette is a good option. George, I would still wait and watch with him. I don't think the way he's scoring his goals is sustainable. Dexter says, thanks for all the tips, mate. I've followed all the way so far. 15 points. That's fantastic, Dexter. I wish I'd kind of deduced what you deduced from my vids, and I would love to be on 215 points at the moment. But good going, my friend. Keep it up. Martinez or Ryan? At this moment in time, Niraz, Martinez all the way, my friend. He's a seasoned keeper. In difficult matches, he's gonna get you safe points. In easy games, he's gonna get you clean sheets. Aston Villa have improved a lot. Don't think about Aston Villa as an easy team this season. Never make that mistake. They are a fantastic team, looking really good. I mean, we can't judge them. We can't judge them from the first 2 games because, they've played Fulham and they've played like a Sheffield United team who were down to 10 men. But Aston Villa looked good. They've signed good players. They looked solid even after the restart. So, Martinez. Sheriff says, armband on Salah for me as well. Good luck, Sheriff. I think, as I said, you can't go wrong. Sheriff says, same attacking lineup as you. Difference, I have Barnes and Foden for Havertz and Podence. Your team is better than mine. Sheriff, I think if I had Barnes and Foden for Havertz and Podence, I would be happier, because Podence is kind of a little dicey whether he's going to start, whether he's not going to start, and I think Barnes is a better option than Havertz for the upcoming 2 game weeks. So you have a better team, my friend. Good luck, good luck. I think you're gonna do well. Do you think that Werner is going to score with Pulisic recovered? To be honest with you, Bruno, it's very hard to kind of judge how Chelsea's gonna play. I just feel that Lampard is just bought these players and he just doesn't kind of he hasn't decided on what system to play. I can't figure out, like, I'm not a manager, right? I'm not kind of a football expert either, but I can't figure out what they're trying to do. I mean, the only attacking outlet is kind of Reece James pumping in crosses from the right, and his crosses are not like really, I mean, his crossing ability is okay, right? He's decent, but not the best. But they don't have any creativity, like nothing. They create nothing in the entire game. How's Werner gonna score? It's very difficult to judge how Chelsea's gonna play after Pulisic comes back. I think Hakim Ziyech is gonna make more difference as well, so let's wait and watch, my friend. George says Brighton most underrated team, have a system, and because they haven't any world-class names, people overlook. Yeah, that's right, guys. Brighton is a good team. I mean, their options, Trossard, Mope, they can be good FPL options. Dexter says nobody talking about Chris Wood, Mope, and Pereira, West Brom. I think they are all fantastic options. I think Chris Wood can be a good option. I mean, he's gonna get you 10 goals a season. That's kind of a ceiling, 10-12 goals a season. Mope looks much better. I think he can have a good season, breakthrough season even, the way Brighton are playing. Daniel says Adams and Robertson, or Ings and Size. Adams and Robertson, in my opinion, my friend. I think Robertson can match Ings, in FPL points. And out of Adams and Size, I think it's kind of the same score, to be honest with you, my friend. But I think if I had to pick one, because I'm not sure about Size, that's the thing. If I was sure Size was gonna start, if you are sure that Size is gonna start every game, and his place is safe in the team, then go with Ings and Size. If you think Size is not nailed on, then Adam and Robertson. That's my opinion about that. Niraz says Martinez versus Liverpool and Ryan versus Everton. To be honest with you, Niraz, a keeper is not a position that you should be too much concerned about. The only thing is your keeper should be playing. That's the thing. If he plays, let him be. It's fine. I've got the worst keeper in the game at the moment, Aaron Ramsdale. I mean, Sheffield United can't seem to buy a clean sheet. Against Leeds, they were looking solid. Guys, can you imagine? I sat through the entire goddamn game till, like, just having one player. I mean, Ayling was on the bench, so I really wasn't concerned about a Leeds clean sheet. The only reason I was sitting and watching that game, was for a Ramsdale clean sheet. And in the 88th minute, they concede a stupid goal because I think it was Sander Berge who didn't pass the ball, and he didn't go with his runner, and Harrison was free and he passed the ball, and Bamford scored a header. There was nothing Ramsdale could do. I mean, Ramsdale was on for 3 bonus points, and he would have got 11 points. I mean, that was really kind of hurtful watching that game. Boring game, and at the end Ramsdale conceded. So just keep whichever keeper you have, keep him. That's the essence of my message. Dexter says, I know it's crazy, but I've got KDB, Salah, and Auba in my team. Dexter, it's not crazy at all, to be honest, my friend. I think the only thing is Aubameyang is not worth 12 million at the moment. That's the only thing. But this week you can keep him if you want. Yeah. James says, who should I bench? I have Walker Peters, Charlie Taylor, Jamal Lewis. I already have McCarthy. That's a very difficult one. Do you want to bench one of them, my friend? Or can you, James, can you kind of explain a little bit more so that I can give you a better advice? Niraz says, keeper, KDB, Salah or KDB? Niraz, I don't understand your question. That they are outfield players. Why would I want to play them as keepers? I'm just joking. If you want a captain, both are good, my friend. Go with your gut. Hamza says, why Salah captain? Why not KDB? No reason, my friend. I think they are both good options, right? For now, my instinct says Salah. I mean, to be honest with you guys, how I select my captaincy, I look at the stats, I look at the eye test, I look at the stats, I look at everything, and then when I figure out the 2 best options, then I go with my instinct. But how to get your instinct right is to have information to back up your instinct, right? If, for example, nobody watches the games, nobody reads the stats, I mean, nobody does anything, any research, and then he says, I'm gonna go with my instinct. Your instinct cannot guide you if you don't have the information. If you have full information, then you go with your gut. You are justified in taking your decision. Even if it's a wrong decision, you are justified. I mean, for example, if somebody just gets up and doesn't know anything about football and says, you should captain Salah because the name sounds better, right? That's not the way to play FPL. If you want to go with your gut, make sure you have the stats to back up your gut, right? So yeah. AWF Gaming says, Davis to Justin. To be honest, AWF Gaming, yeah, that's a good move. But if you can get Castan, I think that's a better option. But if you want to go to Justin, the only reason I'm concerned about Justin is that, what happens when Pereira comes back? Alazar says Podence to Foden for a hit. No, Alazar, in my opinion, not. But who knows what's going to happen with Foden. I know Foden is going to start against Leeds because he did not start the midweek EFL Cup game, right? But I think Podence has 4 easy fixtures, and I think Podence can match, not match, but I think his value is 1 million less than Foden. So I think Podence is a good option to keep. The only thing to be worried about, if he's a long-term injury, then you can do it. If he's going to be fit in game week 5, then keep Podence. Danny says Son and Werner to Foden and Vardy for a hit. I wouldn't do that, to be honest, Danny. I would bench Son, I play a bench player, and I'd play Werner. And then in next game week you've got Werner, and then you've got Son playing against who do they play against in game week 5? Let me just see. You've got Son playing against West Ham United at home. Then you've got Son for Burnley. You've got Son for Brighton. You've got West Brom. To be honest with you, keep Son, play Werner, play your bench player in place of Son. That's what I would do, guys. Don't kind of do what I tell you to do. Of course, you're not supposed to do it, and I'm not an expert. I don't pretend to be an expert. I just give you my honest opinion, right? So Hamza says Sterling for Salah, KDB for a -4. Captain Sterling, I feel Sterling, bro. Hamza, I wouldn't do it. If I was you, I wouldn't do it. The way I play the game, I see KDB and Salah as better options than Sterling, in my opinion, right? Short term, he's good. Differential, he's good. Long term, KDB and Sterling, there's not going to be much difference. Salah and Sterling, Salah can get more points than Sterling. So no, in my opinion, for a hit, never for a hit. If you want to captain him, if you're kind of you have the instinct, you have the gut, you want to take a risk, you can do it. Logically, no. James, I'm sorry, what did Streamlabs do to your message? I need to bench one player from Walker Peters, Charlie Taylor, Jamal Lewis. Oh, I get it. So you've got McCarthy and you also have Walker Peters, but I still wouldn't bench Walker Peters. I think he can get attacking returns and a clean sheet as well. So not Walker Peters, Charlie Taylor, Jamal Lewis. To be honest with you, out of these two, I'd possibly bench Charlie Taylor. Reason being, if Jamal Lewis is fit, I think he's more attacking, and Newcastle is playing a home game. I still feel it's going to be 0-0 draw between Burnley and Newcastle, or it's going to be a 1-1. So it's very hard to say, but play Walker Peters, bench one out of Charlie Taylor and Lewis. Chopin says, do you use eye test or stats to use players, etc.? I'll give 80% weightage to eye test and 20% to the stats, roughly. That's my kind of opinion about stats. You should back up your eye test with stats, but give more weightage to eye test. Whatever you feel when you watch the game, that's more important than kind of reading crazy XG and all this all this kind of gibberish I think eye test is more important. Do you think Vinagre will start this week? To be honest with you, Utrukshit, I am not sure, because there are links of Vinagre going to, which club was it? Was it Panathinaikos, or I think it was Olympiacos, right? I think Vinagre is going to Olympiacos, or maybe some Greek club. I think he's linked to some Greek club, right? So he could go, and he had a very, very bad performance against Fulham, against West Ham as well. So I'm not sure if he's gonna start. I can't say with any amount of certainty. So that's my opinion. James says, thanks. You're welcome, James. Hamza says, why did you captain Salah and not KDB? Leeds versus Manchester City will be open, high scoring. Hamza, I might change my captain before tomorrow, and I will post my final team, and that will be my final captain. After I kind of do the stream, I'm gonna sit and I'm gonna read some more stats, and I'm gonna think about my captaincy a little bit more, and then tomorrow I'm gonna just take the decision about my captaincy. I'm just saying for now it's on Salah. I'm not saying it's my locked team and it's final, right? James says, thanks. You're welcome, James. You're welcome. Shalinder says, what is eye test? Eye test means just watching the games. I always tell everybody who follows me, and that watch the games, friends. It's the single most important thing that's gonna make you good in FPL. See the games, see what happens in games, see how a player plays. I mean, Che Adams would look like a world beater if you read his stats. Like he has the highest XGs and whatnot. But how many FPL points does he have? Like I think he has like 9, 10, 11. So that's why I'm saying, I mean, eye test means watching the games, and that's the most important thing. If you want to be good at FPL, watch all the games. Don't have time to watch all the games, watch the highlights, but at least be kind of connected with the game. Jamal says, captaincy Jimenez, Salah, KDB, Bruno. Out of these 4, I would possibly pick Salah and KDB, Jamal, and then go with your instinct out of those 2. Ayman says, Mitrovic to Calvert-Lewin for a -4. Oh, that's a very difficult one, to be honest with you, my friend. If I was you, I would do it. Long term, I think it's gonna pay you back. Maybe not in this game week, but long term, I think it's worth it. Hamza says, are you on Twitter? Yes, my friend, I am on Twitter. You can see my Twitter handle on the screen and in my description as well. Yeah. Alazar says, is it worth to take a -8 just for 1 week? No, Alazar, that's the way I play the game. I think -8 is worth it, but if you're doing it for the long term, right? For 1 week, it's too risky. I mean, that's the way I play the game. I'm not saying what's right, what's wrong. As I read, as they say, there are lots of ways to skin a cat. Not the best thing to say, right? But yeah, anyways, there are lots of ways to do things, right? There are lots of ways to play FPL. There's no right or wrong way, but in my opinion, for 1 week, -8 is too much for my opinion. There'll be many people who say this is the right thing to do, and they might be successful as well, much more successful than I have been, but in my opinion, not. George says he's going to Olympiacos. Yeah, exactly. So you see, Vinagre has links with Olympiacos, and he might go there. So in my opinion, I'm not sure about whether Vinagre is going to start or not. By the way, guys, if you're enjoying the stream, if you're having fun, and if you think I've managed to answer any of your questions, I would really appreciate if you'd like and kind of hit the subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. And if you have, thank you so much for being here on the stream with me and hearing me ramble. Thank you so much. Donald says, love the vids. Apologies if I missed this previously. What are your plans for Wildcard? Many suggest game week 16. To be honest with you, Donald, thank you so much for your kind comment, my friend. I haven't planned when I'm going to use my Wildcard. Mostly I use my Wildcard when I'm not happy with my team. I actually don't set kind of a duration or a game week when I'm going to use it. If I'm not happy with my team, I'll just pull the trigger. But right now, I'm fairly satisfied with how my team looks. I'm not satisfied with my score or my overall rank, but that's going to improve, right? But I'm satisfied with the team, so I'm going to go with this team. And when I feel that my team doesn't look good, or I feel that I'm missing too many kind of players who are scoring too many points. For example, one player who sticks out like a sore thumb, which I want in my team, is Harvey Barnes, and I know I can get him for Kai Havertz, but then I also want to get Jimenez, right? And Castan. So there are 2-3 players that I want to get, which I can get with a couple of hits, so I'm not too concerned at the moment. So that's my opinion about that. Bakshat says he's gonna on a loan with an option to buy, so I think Vinagre is possibly gonna be gone. I have a strong gut feeling that Sterling would score at least 2 goals. He could, my friend. I mean, why would Sterling not score against a Leeds side who plays such an open football, who press high, and Sterling with pace, and somebody like Kevin De Bruyne to kind of feed him the balls? I think Sterling can do well. No issues about that. I mean, if you have the option to get KDB and Sterling, why not? But if you have one, I would just stick with them. For one game week getting in Sterling, what happens if he blanks? What do you do with Sterling then? You know, like that's I mean, he can score 2 goals. I mean, that's fine. But what happens if he blanks? Then do you transfer him out? Then do you stick with him? I mean, FPL is I think patience is rewarded in FPL, my friends. So yeah. James says Spurs just signed Vinicius. Yeah, I think they did, right? They signed him on loan with an option to buy. I think he's a striker, backup striker for Harry Kane. They didn't have any backup strikers, guys. So yeah, they signed Vinicius, but I think Kane's gonna play. Vinicius is kind of not Vinicius Junior. He's a striker. Vinicius they signed. Utrakshit says, I think you should go live hours prior to gameplay for the last minute question. Utrakshit, I always go live before the deadline, my friend. Unfortunately, tomorrow I was not going to be able to go live because I have some work. That's the reason I'm live now. Otherwise, I go live 1 hour before the deadline every week, guys. I'm going to be here. So don't worry about it. Don't think that I'm not going to be here. Unfortunately, tomorrow I'm just busy. So, but for the upcoming weeks, game week 5, 6, 7, 8, I'm going to be here, guys. Talking FPL to you. That's what I love doing and I enjoy it so much. Doesn't matter how many people come to my streams. Even if one of you comes here, I'd come here and talk to you guys. I just love talking FPL. That's all I do, right? Zodiac says, is there a deadline stream tomorrow or not? Zod, unfortunately tomorrow not. It's gonna be a deadline stream in game week 5, but for tomorrow not. Roland says sold Son for Barnes. Roland, that decision is good. I think Harvey Barnes is a very good option. Ajaya says, hello bro, just come. Hey Ajaya, welcome to the live stream, bro. I've been online for I guess 1 hour, so I'm gonna be here for some more time. As long as you guys got questions for me, I'm gonna be here and have the answers for you. The Magician says Salah or KDB. For captain, to be honest with you, I've kind of shortlisted these 2 people, and I'm going with my gut for now. I have it on Salah, but I think KDB is an equally good captain option, bro. It's logically there's not I can't choose between these 2, right? Chopanen says I got Werner, Son, Vinagre. Want to bring in Vardy, Jimenez, and Mahrez. Should I take a -8 to bring in Castan too? Then I got 2 Leicester defense. I don't think you should if you already have 1 Leicester defender, I don't think you need to get another one, my friend. Just take out Werner for Jimenez. I think you should be fine. I'm not so sure why you want to go for Mahrez. I mean, if you want to keep Mahrez long term, fair enough, right? But for a hit, Mahrez, I'm not so sure. That's my opinion about that. Magician, I already answered that, my friend. I don't know how to answer between KDB and Salah, bro, because there's nothing logical to choose between them. They both got the stats to back them. So in my opinion, you know, it's more of an instinct-based, gut-based decision between KDB and Salah. So for now, my gut says Salah. Tomorrow morning, I might change it, right? So when I post my final team, that would be my final captain. I don't know how to choose between them, bro. Just like you. Hamza says, is Salah good without Mane? Salah is fantastic without Mane. I know there have been rumors that Mane has tested positive for COVID-19. I don't have any kind of proof to substantiate it or kind of refute it. But, you know, if Mane is positive and Mane doesn't play, Salah plays like he's on nitrous or kind of he's on steroids. He plays really well without Mane. He scores lots of points. I mean, it would be a good news for Salah owners in terms of FPL. Of course, if anybody gets COVID, that's never a good news in any term. So we hope if anybody has COVID, they get well soon, right? I'm just talking in terms of FPL. If Mane is not playing, Salah will be better. Definitely better. Ajaya says, Alan Saint Maxima to Foden or Barnes for a -4. Yeah, I think that's a good idea, Ajaya. Especially for Barnes. I think even for a -4 you can get Harvey Barnes. I don't think Alan Saint Maxima is I'm not even sure if he's gonna start, and if he starts against Burnley, I'm not sure how much he's gonna do. Over the long term, I think Harvey Barnes is kind of the better option. The Magician says thoughts on bringing in Foden for Son. To be honest, Magician, I think if you have a good solid bench, I would bench Son and play a bench player for 1 game week, or I would even put Son in the team. If he starts, fair enough. If he doesn't start, let your bench player come in. In game week 5, you can have Son for West Ham at home. I think that's the way I would do it. But if you want to transfer him out, then I think Foden is a good option, right? Roland says, is Foden likely to start? In my opinion, Roland, I think Foden is likely to start. The reason being because Foden didn't play in the midweek game against, who was it against? Dang, I forgot. Who did City play against, guys? Was it Bournemouth? Oh, no, it wasn't Bournemouth. Oh, I'm so sorry. I skipped my mind. Anyways, but City had a midweek. Yeah, they played against Burnley. All right. So basically, Foden didn't play the game in midweek in the EFL Cup. So I think Foden is very, very likely to start. You never know with Pep. He can troll us all the time, anytime. But I think Foden will start. Hamza says, if Mane's rumor is confirmed, will you captain Salah? 100%, Hamza, I will do it. If Mane is not going to play, 100% we should captain Salah. Salah becomes crazy. He scores lots of points, when Mane is not playing. Unfortunately, that's true. Are you planning to bring in Brewster now that he will start for Sheffield? No, my friend, I'm not planning to bring in Brewster. I already discussed it at a great length. I think that there's too much value in budget forwards for me to consider Brewster, and I actually want to see him play for Sheffield United. He's not going to kind of Brighton, right? Or he's not even going to a team that play attacking football. Sheffield United is predominantly a defensive team. They play with overlapping centre backs, So in my opinion, I would wait and watch. If Brewster kind of bangs, he's like looks really, really good. Why not get him after that, right? Why should we kind of speculate? Elazar says, thinking of buying Mahrez for this game week and change to Son in game week 5. Elazar, to be honest with you, that's not the way I play this game. I'm more of a long-term kind of planning kind of a manager, so I wouldn't do it. But if you think it's the right ploy, you can go with it, because everybody has kind of a different way of playing the game. I just can't advocate for the move that I wouldn't make myself. I can't tell you, yeah, go ahead and do it, right? So that's my opinion about that, my friend. Lucas says, loving the stream, thinking about downgrading Werner to Ings and upgrading Foden to Pulisic over the international break. Thoughts have pointed in the bank. To be honest with you, my friend, thank you so much for the kind words first, Lucas. And to be honest with you, I would, if you want to do Werner to Ings, I think that's a good idea. But I think you should wait and watch with Pulisic. At least watch him play for one game week. You never know with these injuries and stuff. Sometimes when he comes back, he might have a niggle. He might not be in good form. He might take some time to regain form, and then you'll think, what have I done, right? Because to be honest with you, I think Foden is a good option anyway. Why would you want to sell Foden? Let's see how he plays against Leeds. If he scores lots of points, why would we need to upgrade him? But Werner to Wings? Why not? Why not? The Magician says, when do you plan to use a wildcard? As I already said, guys, sometimes I kind of answered the question many times. I think this wildcard question I've addressed, I think 4 or 5 times. So Magician, I just don't plan my wildcard, right? I'll use my wildcard when I feel my team is not ready, and when I feel there's too many players which I want in my team and I don't have, or if up till game week 15 my team goes on and gives me good returns, then I'll use it probably in game week 15 before the second wildcard becomes available, right? There you go, guys. We have one more question again. Should I captain De Bruyne or Salah, from Dan? Dan, I don't have a right answer to that, my friend. It's very difficult. I can tell you 2 options, right? But you have to select from the 2. From De Bruyne and Salah, I don't have an option. But yes, you will find my decision. What decision did I make? I will post my team tomorrow, 1 hour before the deadline, on Twitter, on YouTube. You can have a look at my decision. I don't know how to explain why I chose Salah over KDB or why I chose KDB over Salah, but I will tell you what my decision is, right? James says, this is an interesting question, guys. He says, what do you think the worst kit you have seen this season? To be honest with you, for me, 2 kits really stand out. One was Wolves kit. The Wolves, is it the 3rd kit for Wolves? Like, it's absolutely shambolic. Like, it's like with blue and kind of flowery design with flowers and stuff. I think it looks really bad. I mean, Wolves generally have a very good taste in kits and the way they post their team news and stuff, but the 3rd kit is just absolutely crazy bad, right? And another one, I think Chelsea kit, guys, the kit they wore against West Bromwich Albion, what was it? It looked like a, it looked like crazy. I read a tweet on Twitter. They're saying it was like a litmus test. Like, it was so crazy. I think Chelsea and Wolves, I think, are the two worst kits that I think I've seen. I haven't seen all of them, but from what I've seen, I think Chelsea against West Brom and Wolves third kit. Not good. Not good at all. Alazar says, thanks mate, you're epic. Pulisic named in the Z squad. Bro, I thank you so much for your kind words. I just don't understand the question. Can you please rephrase it? Yeah, there you go. Chelsea away kit, pink and West Brom is bad. There you go. Hey Amrit, welcome to the live stream, bro. You're late. I've been streaming for almost 1.5 hour. 1 hour 15 minutes, right? So I'm gonna be gone soon. But if you have any questions, my friend, hit me up, because since there's gonna be no deadline streams tomorrow, I was here to answer all your questions. Madhav says, views on James Ward-Prowse. I think there are better options than James Ward-Prowse in Southampton. I think Kyle Walker-Peters, even Stuart Armstrong, Che Adams, and Danny Ings, they are better than James Ward-Prowse at the moment. He doesn't look too effective to me at all. So no, in my opinion. Oh, if you already have him, yes, you should keep him, Madhav. I think that's fine then. If you already have him, yes, you should keep him. But I mean, if you want to get him in, then of course, I think Stuart Armstrong, Danny Ings, Che Adams, and Kyle Walker-Peters are better. But if you have him, then you should keep him. Not a problem with that. And if you want to move him on, that at 6 million, you can go with Leandro Trossard. Or if you have 1 million to spare, you can go with Harvey Barnes. That's my opinion. Asmith says, Alan St. Maxima to Barnes for a -4, or Mitrovic to Dominic Calvert-Lewin for -4. Which will pay it off more in your thought? I've already Jimenez, Ings, and Rodriguez. That's a very difficult one to judge, my friend, because I think Barnes and Dominic Calvert-Lewin are both good. I think any hit you take, either of the hit you take, I think it's gonna pay off, my friend. Madhav says, I'm thinking of James Ward-Prowse to Pulisic. To be honest with you, Madhav, we don't know whether Pulisic is gonna play in game week 5, whether he's gonna be fit, whether he's gonna be in good form. So I don't think that it's a good option. Let's wait on Pulisic, right? It's better to go with somebody who's actually playing, right? Harvey Barnes, why not? In my opinion. Who is the optimal transfer for Son? Nobody, my friend. I think Son is the optimal transfer for Son. Keep him on the bench and play him in game week 5, Shoppinen. But if you want to transfer him out, in my opinion, Harvey Barnes is a good option. Phil Foden is another one. Riyad Mahrez is an outside option. I don't like him too much because I'm never sure if he's gonna start or not. But Phil Foden and Harvey Barnes. Amrit says, I'm from Nepal. I wake up for your stream. Oh my god, thank you so much, Amrit. It means so much to me that you kind of sacrifice that for your sleep for me, and I appreciate it so much. Linder says, your view on James Rodriguez. I think he's good. I think he's gonna be more like a second assisting type of a guy. He's gonna assist the assister the way he's playing, but over the season I think he can accumulate over 150 points, and I think that would be decent based on what his value is. George says, I'm going now. Wiz, take care. Good luck for tomorrow. Good luck, George. Thank you so much for being here for such a long time, my friend. I appreciate it always. Good luck to you for your team as well, my friend. Eldar says, Pulisic is back and fit to play. Risky for this game week. To be honest with you, Alazar, he might be fit, he might play, but I want to see him playing. I want to see how Chelsea plays with Pulisic in the team, how he lines up, where he plays. Before I transfer a player in, like for example, Manchester United didn't have a game in first game week, right? And everybody jumped onto their assets in game week 2. What happened? Like Martial blanked, Bruno blanked, Rashford blanked. It was, I think we should watch the players before we actually get them in. Watch them play. Madhav says, thanks. Well, you're welcome, my friend. Magician says, should free hit be used in a double game week? Yes, Magician. I mean, in a double game week, you can use triple captain. You can use bench boost. Free hit mostly the traditional way of using the free hit is in a blank game week rather than in a double game week, right? But yes, you can use free hit in a double game week and it can help you a lot, right? But mostly people use either they kind of navigate blank game week with the team they have. They'll take a hit for that game week, and then they'll use a free hit in a double game week. So there's no right or wrong, right? You can use it anytime you want. But yes, you can use it in a double game week. Why not? Amrit says, what's your transfer plan for this game week? Amrit, I'm thinking about 2 transfers. One is Werner to Jimenez, and the second one is for a hit. Obviously, I'm thinking about it. I haven't done it yet. But Davies to Castan is my second one. The first one, the highest on my list is Werner to Jimenez. Hang on, guys. Let me have a drink of water, please. Been talking too much. Alrighty. Asmit says, Amrit, lol, I'm also from Nepal. FPL is too addictive, but it is more fun to play. Obviously, guys, FPL is awesome. And Asmit, thank you so much for you too as well for staying awake till like it's 2 a.m. in the morning here, right? And I really appreciate all of you, Asmit, Amrit, and all of you who came on this live stream. Really, thank you so much. Musaid says, should I keep Kane and Mitro or swap them for Ings and Jimenez? Oh, that's a very difficult one, Musaid, because I really rate Kane this season, right? But the problem is Mitrovic. But to be honest with you, I think if you can, you should keep Kane and Mitrovic and get some money from somewhere else and upgrade Mitrovic to Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I think Kane and Dominic Calvert-Lewin would be better than Ings and Jimenez. But Kane and Mitrovic better than Ings and Jimenez? I don't think so. But to be honest with you, if you can, don't sell Kane. Keep him till the end of the season if you can. Like if he keeps playing well, and upgrade Mitrovic. Don't kind of sell both of them. I think Kane is looking really sharp. What do you mean blank game week? Blank game week is one in which not all the teams have a match, right? Some of the teams kind of have a EFL Cup final or FA Cup semi-final, and then they miss that game week, and then they compensate in a double game week, right? That's how double game week comes around, right? If one team has a blank game week, then they're gonna play that match in some other game week, and that's how blank game week gets converted to a double game week. Buckshot says, don't forget to like and subscribe, folks. Good luck for tomorrow, and make sure you get your teams locked before the deadline. Thank you so much, George. Thank you so much for your time, my friend. James says, do you have an FPL league? Yeah, James, I have an FPL league. I think I removed the link of that league from my description, but yes, I have it, and I'll actually tell you the league code. I'll write it in the comments so you can join if you want to, my friend. I'm sorry, Amrit, this Streamlabs bot goes crazy sometimes. Magician says, thanks bro. You're welcome, Magician. And Musaid says, thanks. Yes, I have Dominic Calvert-Lewin as well. I'll swap Mitro next week. Yeah, that would be a good idea, my friend. I think this game week, Ings and Jimenez can score more points than Kane and Mitrovic, right? Over the long term, just swap Mitrovic with some other good striker and keep Kane, right? Over the long term, I think that would be a better move to make. Amrit says, what about Havertz? Is he worth keeping, or should I transfer him for James Rodriguez? To be honest with you, Havertz maybe not worth keeping, right? But I wouldn't transfer him out to James Rodriguez. I think James has some difficult games coming up. If I wanted to transfer him out, I would move to Harvey Barnes of Leicester or James Maddison. But if I had to do it, I would move to Harvey Barnes. Asmit says, who would you play, Taylor or Saint Maxima? Mitrovic to hold is a good idea. Is Dominic Calvert-Lewin essential? To be honest with you, I don't think anybody is essential, to be honest with you, Asmit. But I think Dominic Calvert-Lewin is in good form. 7.5 million, scoring goals every week. What's not to like about him, right? Excuse me for the voice crack. Would I play Taylor or Saint Maxima? Crazy. Difficult question, my friend. I would possibly, if I had Saint Maxima, I would possibly bench Saint Maxima and play Charlie Taylor, because I know that he's nailed on to start. With Saint Maxima, I'm not sure if he's going to start. If you're sure he's going to start, then I would possibly start Saint Maxima over Taylor. But to be honest with you, it's a very difficult one to kind of judge, my friend. If I had these two players, I always kind of choose the midfielder who has attacking potential over a defender, who I know that doesn't have too much attacking threat. If it was Kyle Walker-Peters versus Saint Maxima, I would tell you to play Kyle Walker-Peters, right? But not sure with Taylor, Mitrovic to hold is a good idea. I don't think so. I think Mitrovic is going to get 10 to 12 goals this season, possibly because he's the only kind of attacking outlet for Fulham, but Fulham is looking like a relegation candidate already. So I wouldn't kind of keep Mitrovic for too long. But yeah, if you have other fires to put out, you can keep him. You know, he can score against anybody because he has that presence, right? But difficult one to kind of say that you should keep him for a long time. You can move him on whenever you have the chance, my friend. Madhav says, I have James Ward-Prowse plus Mount plus 2.5. What should I do? For now, I think you can make one transfer if you want to. You can get Harvey Barnes for one of them. I think in the midfielders, right? I think Harvey Barnes, James Maddison, James Rodriguez, these are the players to kind of get. If you want a player in the same price range, you can have Trossard as well. I think Trossard can do really well over the season. But if you want to get kind of an impact player or more kind of a player which is from a better team, then Harvey Barnes is your man. Phil Foden, which one did I say again? James Rodriguez and James Maddison. These are your players that you can look at. If I had to do it, I was gonna go for Harvey Barnes out of these. Asmit says, best of luck, bro. Wish for the green arrow. Of course, my friend. Of course. As I always say, may the arrows be green, my friend. All of us. So good luck, my friend. Have a good night. Thank you so much for being here, Asmit. I appreciate it, bro. So my friends, if you have any more questions, please shoot, because I'll take a couple of questions, then I'll call it a day, because I've been streaming for a pretty long time. So Zodiac says, see ya, and a beautiful heart from Zodiac. Why are you streaming so late, Wiz? Neo, to be honest with you, because generally I do a deadline stream, right? I stream 1 hour before the deadline, but unfortunately I found out today evening that tomorrow I have to work and I won't be able to do the deadline stream. So I didn't want to kind of just come online and didn't want to give my viewers or my subscribers the chance to kind of to prepare for the stream, or to have some time between kind of when I announce the stream and when the stream actually happens. So that's the reason I'm streaming late. And second is I have a 2-year-old, and he sleeps and I can stream without any interruptions. And my 2-year-old kind of, otherwise he doesn't let me stream. He'll come in and he'll pull my wires and stuff. You know how 2-year-olds are, right? Yeah. Anyways, thank you so much for being here. Anyways, my friends, thank you so much for being here. Amrit, I'll post my final team before the deadline tomorrow. 1 hour before the deadline, you'll have my final team, right? So yeah, you have to wait till tomorrow, my friend. Thank you so much, guys. I see so many beautiful comments. Madhav says, great stream. Lucas says, great stream. Cheers, man. Madhav says, best stream from India. Amrit says, can you show your final team? David Leahy, guys. Shout out to David Leahy. He was the winner of our League of Wizards in the first season that we started our channel. Amazing player. He had an amazing overall rank as well. So thank you so much, David, for being here. I really appreciate it. Neo says, for the love for the 2-year-old, keep safe and good luck for game week 4. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for all your kind comments, friends. I really appreciate it. By the way, guys, so I'm gonna call it a day. I hope I answered your questions. I told you a little bit about my team as well, and I hope you were able to kind of clear your dilemmas, clear your doubts. Don't worry about it, guys. FPL is a long journey, right? It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. We're gonna do it together, guys, and we're gonna do it the right way. We're gonna do it with patience, do it the right way. FPL Wizard signing out. Take care. Have a great game week. May the arrows be green. Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.